One thing I've been struck by looking at so much video from that day is how the police, the Capitol Police, were not the aggressors at the beginning. It was the protesters pushing over the barriers. I didn't see officers reach for their weapons, pull their weapons. You said at one point in time that some of those coming at you had told you that they were armed, they had guns. Looking back at that a year later, how much of the first wave of that conflict was animated, was set by the what you thought was how the crowd was armed? We've heard commanders say that they worried it would be a bloodbath if officers started pulling their weapons.
I mean, it's very hard to make that decision because I know when I made the decision not to use my weapon, uh, I thought about using it. Believe me, I did. But would that make it worse for myself or the other officers? Being surrounded by thousands and thousands of unruly, violent people, they already had their intent on attacking us in full police uniform. So when somebody says, "Why don't you use your weapon?" Why? Okay, which one? Which one are you referring to? Because if I don't see a weapon in their hand pointing at me, I cannot go shoot the crowd.
Right.
It's common sense. But the, well, I think collectively, but yet individually, we made that decision that if we were to use our uh, lethal weapon, then it would have been a bloodbath, as I said before. It was just a matter of who would start shooting first. And if we did that, then we didn't know how that crowd would have reacted because we got thousands and thousands of people that had not gone through security screening or anything like that. They breached all the barriers that we had in the West Front, regardless of how what type of barriers were in the West Front, but they already breached them and they had the intent. So if we were to shoot at them, then it would be all out shooting match between them, and we were surrounded. As I later on find out that we were surrounded by the crowd around the Capitol. So
Right.
imagine what else could they have done if we would have had started shooting. As you can see, there have been in court uh, some of the people being charged with bringing weapons to the Capitol, and those are only a fracture of the people who have been being able to be in charge and sentenced for bringing the weapon, let alone the thousands and thousands of people who were here that day with
Right.
backpacks.